This video shows you how to do the first assignment, which is creating orthographic drawings from the parts in Inventor. Actually, let me close this down so I can show you how to open something in Inventor. So once you've run Inventor, it should look something like this. You'll want to say open. And now you're going to want to find the file. So for you to find the file, you're going to want to click that drop down and say look in Google Drive. And then you'll have to click into My Drive. Now you don't have this level of folder because this is the way I have it organized. But under your My Drive, you should have a folder that's called this, Miss GCAD. If you do not have that, that means you never added it to your drive and you need to go back and do that. And to do that, you'll have to go to Classroom to find the link. And that's in a separate window. All right, so I'm going to click on here. And on the Google Doc that I gave you, it lists the folder as Inventor, Intro, and then here's the first part. So I'm going to hit Open. And this sometimes takes a few seconds. So here's the part that you need to draw. Right now it's in color. What you're going to need to do is draw the front view. I suggest drawing that first in the bottom left corner of your paper, because as you remember, the front goes in the bottom left. So click on the front view here, and this is what you're going to need to draw. Now, if you don't want it in color, you can come up here to View, and now you can say Wireframe with hidden edges. If you do want it in color, you at least want to turn on Shaded with hidden edges. Just make sure you have the hidden edges turned on so that you can then draw where the hidden edges are. I'm going to click that, and this is the exact shape you're going to want to draw. Now, how do you know how long it is? You have to measure it. So you go to Tools and hit Measure. And if you want to measure a line length, you can just click on that line and it tells you it's 2.5. Now, I suggest click Measure again for the next line length. If you want to know how long this is, click it again, and so on. Keep clicking Measure. The reason I say that is because if I were to click it and say that's 1 inch, and then I want to know how long this one is, and I click that, it doesn't give me the length of that second line. It gives me the distance between the two clicks. So basically when you measure something, the first click it'll give you the length of that specific feature, and then the second click it gives you the distance between those two clicks, which perhaps you want in some cases, but then in other cases that's not what you want. So it's something that you're going to have to figure out as you need it. Now, one thing I want to warn you about, if I hit Measure again and say I want to know the length of this line, this gives me 3.606. Now for this project, all of the numbers should be nice and round. You shouldn't encounter a number like this. If you do, you should be suspicious and try to figure out what's going on. If you look at this view from the 3D view, you'll see what's going on is that it's giving you the distance, the entire distance of that, the length of that edge. So it's not an up and down distance. So, for example, if you want the distance in what's called the y-axis, as identified here, you can just click Measure and pick. If you pick the two lines, you're still going to get the same thing. So instead, what you can do, if you come to your home view again, you can measure the distance between two surfaces. So that'll be this surface and that surface. And if you look, it gives you 2 inches because what it's doing is it's measuring between the top surface that I clicked on and then this next bottom surface, which is not letting me click on right now because I already selected it. Another option is you could click on the points. I know it's really hard to see, but you'll see there's a little yellow circle going around that corner there. I'm going to click that and click that. This gives me the 3.606. Sorry, I must not have clicked Measure between the two. So I just made the same mistake I told you not to. Why is this not? Okay, there we go. I guess I had done it correctly before. You just have to click the delta. And so this shows you that in the up and down it's 2, and in the Z direction it's 3. So if you click the 2 points, it will tell you exactly how far it is in each direction. So that's probably the easier way to go than trying to pick the surfaces, but I leave that up to you. Now, if you want to get out of the measure tool, you just hit Escape. Another thing I want to warn you about, if you go to the front view and you're drawing from here, and then you click the top view, that's the drawing you're going to want to draw. Note that there are some hidden lines, and you're going to want to draw those. It's also hard to measure. So if you look, if I try to measure from here to the hidden line, it doesn't allow me to select it because there's actually a surface in between there. So what you can do is go back to that 3D view and hit measure again and pick those 2 points like I was showing you before. And then this will show you, this time it's not giving you that nice X and Y graphic, but in this case the Y, which is the up and down, is 1.5, and the X, which you can see is this left and right, is 0.5. All right, so let me go back to that top view. So that's how you get distances to the hidden lines. Now the last thing I want to warn you about, let's say you went from the top view, or sorry, from the front view, you clicked on the top view, and now if you click on the right view, that is the view that would be to the right of the top view. This is really hard to explain without having the paper in front of you. But basically what you want is you want the right side view to come off of the front, as we discussed before. So you always want the right view to be to the right of the front. So come back to the front view to then turn it to the right side view, okay? You'll know you're in, so this is what it's going to look like. You'll know that you're in the wrong view if, for example, I click on front and then top, and now if I click on right, do you see how right is written sideways? You don't want right to be written sideways. So if need be, you could also just rotate this arrow and get that to be correct. That should about cover it. If you want to go back to color, you can always click on here, shaded with hidden edges. That might be easier for you to see. This is just personal preference. The other thing I want to mention is when you're in a 3D view, you can click the shift button and hold down your middle mouse button, and then you can scroll as you want to and rotate. You can also zoom your middle mouse button in and out, and that will that will zoom your part. And then if you want to move the part left and right, you hold your middle mouse button down and move your mouse in the direction you want to go. That's about it. Let me warn you of this too. If you want to save this part in your own directory, because you opened it from my drive is write protected, so you can't save anything in Miss G's CAD folder. So what you're going to want to do is say save as, and that allows you to rename it. You can't save it in the Miss G CAD Inventor folder, so you'll have to go to my drive and then do a save as into your CAD drive. Okay, so that's what you want to do, is make sure this says save as. And then don't forget to check the little swirly to see if it's actually saving. All right, that's it for now.